March 20th, 1945, Berlin. Heinz Guderian, chief of the German Army General Staff, entered Hitler's office. He held a report. The true situation of the Eastern Front, the Soviets at the Oder River. Berlin, 60 kilometers away. Hitler was sitting at the desk. Beside him, Martin Bormann. Eyes turned to Guderian. Colonel General, your report? Guderian placed a report on the desk. His voice calm but determined. My leader, the Eastern Front has collapsed. The 9th Army, encircled. The 12th Army, exhausted. No reserves. If the Soviets attack, we cannot hold Berlin. Hitler's face tensed. What do you suggest? Guderian, peace negotiations in the West. Shifting resources to the East. Or surrender. Silence. Heavy, suffocating silence. Then Hitler exploded. Surrender? You are a German general. How dare that word come from your mouth? Guderian did not back down. I am a realistic soldier. The war is lost. There is no point in spilling more blood. Hitler stood up, pointed his finger at Guderian. You are a defeatist, traitor to the homeland. Out! I don't want to see you. Guderian saluted. Turn, left. In the corridor, he took a deep breath. To his aide, it's over. That man doesn't want to hear the truth. And I will not tell any more lies. March 28th, 1945, Guderian was relieved of duty. For health reasons. Real reason. He had told Hitler the truth. This is the story of Heinz Guderian, one of the Wehrmacht's most brilliant strategists, the father of Panzer warfare. But in his final years, he was systematically silenced because he told the truth. Before we begin the story, please hit the like button. It helps us reach more people with these forgotten stories. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications. Now, let's get back to the story. Heinz Guderian, born 1888, from Prussian military tradition, started as an infantry officer in World War I. After the war, remained in the Weimar Republic's small army. In the 1920s, Guderian developed a vision. Future wars will be wars of tanks. Not static fronts, but rapid movement. Steel speed, surprise. 1933, Hitler came to power. Rearmament began. Guderian played a critical role in establishing Panzer units. Positioned tanks not just as support vehicles, but as the main attack force. 1939, Poland. Guderian's Panzer Corps rushed toward Warsaw. 18 days, Poland fell. Lightning War was born. 1940, France. Guderian passed through the Ardennes forest. Shocked the French. 6 weeks, Paris fell. Guderian became a hero. Hitler admired Guderian. You are the Panzer genius, master of modern warfare. But this honeymoon would be short-lived. June 22nd, 1941, Barbarossa began. Guderian commanded the 2nd Panzer Group. Target, Moscow. In the first weeks, tremendous success. Guderian's tanks advanced 80 kilometers per day. Soviet lines shattered. July, Guderian reached Smolensk. Moscow, 400 kilometers away. The road was open, but then Hitler interfered. Early August, Hitler sent Guderian new orders. Wait on Moscow. Turn south. Take Kiev. Guderian was shocked. Kiev was not strategic. Moscow was the heart. Kiev was peripheral. Guderian decided to object. Went to see Hitler. The meeting was tense. Guderian showed a map. My leader, Moscow is before us. If we attack now, we'll take it in September, before winter. Hitler shook his head. No, Kiev is important. We must take Ukraine. Wheat coal industry. Guderian. But Moscow is the Soviet nervous system. If Moscow falls, the Soviets collapse. Hitler, harsh. I make the decisions. You execute. Kiev. Guderian had to accept. But inside he knew this is a mistake. September, Guderian attacked Kiev. Won. 600,000 Soviet prisoners taken. Great victory. But it was October. Too late for Moscow. October-November, Guderian turned toward Moscow. But winter had begun. Snow, mud. Tanks froze. Advance stopped. December 5th, Soviet counteroffensive. Guderian withdrew. For the first time, Hitler was furious. No withdrawal. You will hold. Guderian. But my leader, the men are freezing. Tanks aren't working. Hitler. Excuses. If you withdraw, you'll be relieved. Guderian faced a dilemma. Save his soldiers or obey Hitler. December 26, 1941, Guderian gave withdrawal order. Save his soldiers. But Hitler did not forgive this. December 28th, Guderian was relieved. Insubordination. 1942 to 1943, Guderian was in reserve. Without duty. Sitting in Berlin. But not forgotten. During this period, Guderian wrote a book, Attention Panzer. Panzer Tactics. Reference for Wehrmacht officers. But at the same time, he observed Hitler, followed his decisions, and worried. Summer 1942, Stalingrad. Hitler gave Paulus the hold order. Result, 250,000 casualties. Guderian wrote in his diary, "The leader doesn't understand tactical flexibility. They never retreat. Doctrine is leading to disaster. Stalingrad is proof of this." Summer 1943. Kursk. Hitler launched Operation Citadel. Guderian was against it from the start. Sent a report to Hitler. "My leader, Citadel is risky. The Soviets are waiting. We'll exhaust our panzers." Hitler didn't listen. Citadel began. Failed. 1,600 tanks lost. Guderian. I said so. But nobody listens. February 1943, Hitler recalled Guderian. New duty, Panzer General Inspector. Job description, reorganize Panzer units. Compensate for losses. Develop new tactics. Guderian accepted, but with one condition. My leader, give me direct reporting rights. I must be able to tell you without going through bureaucracy. Hitler, okay, but only Panzer matters. Guderian got to work. Increased tank production. New models, Panther, Tiger II. Tactical training. New officers. But at the same time, he sent reports to Hitler. Realistic reports. My leader, Panzer losses exceed production. Every month, we lose 200 tanks. We only produce 150. This is unsustainable. Hitler was uncomfortable. Why aren't we producing more? Guderian. No steel. No workers. Factories are being bombed. Hitler. Find a way. Guderian did what he could, but he couldn't work miracles. July 20th, 1944, assassination attempt on Hitler. Stauffenberg's bomb. Hitler survived, but Chief of General Staff Zeitzler turned out to be connected to the plot. Resigned. July 21st. Hitler summoned Guderian. Heinz, I'm making you Chief of General Staff. Guderian hesitated. My leader, I'm a tank man. General Staff is a big responsibility. Hitler, you're the only general I trust. July 20th showed most generals are traitors. But you are loyal. Guderian, I'm loyal, but I tell the truth. Always. Hitler, that's what I want. But Hitler was lying. He didn't want to hear the truth. Guderian became Chief of General Staff, and his job was impossible because the Eastern Front was collapsing. August 1944, Soviets in Poland. Operation Bagration had shattered the Wehrmacht. 400,000 casualties. Guderian presented a report to Hitler. My leader, the Eastern Front has collapsed. We withdrawn to the Vistula River. The Soviets are organizing. I expect a major offensive in January. Hitler, then we'll attack first. Guderian, with what? No reserves. Hitler, we'll bring them from the west. We'll launch an offensive in the Ardennes. After we succeed, we'll shift forces to the east. Guderian, shocked. But my leader, the Ardennes is risky. If we fail, our resources will be exhausted. The east will be defenseless. Hitler, we'll succeed. I said so. December 1944, Ardennes offensive began. First days were promising, but then it collapsed. January 1945, failed. Casualties, 100,000 soldiers, 800 tanks. Guderian to Hitler. I told you. Now the East is defenseless, and the Soviets are coming. Hitler, no blame, will look forward. January 9th, 1945, Guderian at Hitler's headquarters. For the last time, presenting a major report. My leader, intelligence shows the Soviets will launch an attack on the Vistula on January 12th. 2 million soldiers, 7,000 tanks. We have only 400,000 soldiers and 1,200 tanks defending. Ratio 1-5. Hitler, intelligence is exaggerating. The Soviets aren't that strong. Guderian, no, it's correct. I check my own intelligence. Certain. Hitler, then send reinforcements. Guderian, from where? Western Front is exhausted. No resources in Italy. No reserves. Hitler, there are 30 divisions in Courland. Bring them. Guderian, Courland is in the Baltic. The Soviets have besieged it. Bringing them will take months, and we have days. Hitler, then Steiner's SS Panzer Corps. Guderian, Steiner's corps is on paper. In reality, 12,000 men, most new, untrained. Hitler became angry. Enough. Every time negative. Why don't you offer any solutions? Guderian, calm. Because there is no solution. Militarily, the war is lost. The only solution, peace negotiations. Hitler stood up. Out. Don't mention that word again. Guderian left. In the corridor to his aide. That man has gone mad. He doesn't want to see reality. January 12, 1945, Soviet offensive began. Vistula Oder operation. In 2 weeks, the Soviets crossed Poland, reached the Oder River. Berlin, 60 kilometers away. The Wehrmacht scattered. Guderian's warning proved correct. But too late. February-March 1945, Guderian clashed with Hitler almost daily. February 13th, Hitler will counterattack in Pomerania. Guderian, with what? No soldiers. Hitler, find them. February 28th, Hitler, the 9th Army will attack the Soviets at Frankfurt-Oder. Guderian, the 9th Army is encircled. Can attack. Hitler, it will. March 15th, Guderian presented a special report, looked into Hitler's eyes. My leader, I've been a soldier for 40 years, since World War I, and I'm telling you, the war is over. Berlin will fall in 4 to 6 weeks. If we start peace negotiations now, perhaps the terms will be better. Hitler, cold, you accept defeat. I don't. Guderian, I accept reality. Hitler, your version of reality. My version is different. Guderian, there's only one version of reality, the military situation. Hitler, wrong. What changes the military situation? Guderian, what doesn't bring back tanks? What doesn't stop the Soviet army? Hitler exploded. Enough. You're a defeatist. You're ruining my morale. Go. March 28th, 1945, final meeting. Hitler at headquarters. Guderian summoned. Hitler, cold. Heinz, your health is poor. You should take leave. Guderian understood. Health was an excuse. My health is fine. Hitler, no. According to the doctor's report, you're stressed. 6 weeks leave. You'll rest. Guderian, in 6 weeks, the war will be over. Hitler, then we'll have a victory ceremony in Berlin. Guderian smiled bitterly. If you say so. Hitler, Krebs will replace you. He's more positive. Guderian, Krebs will tell you whatever you want. I told you the truth. Hitler, that's the problem. I don't want truth. I want victory. Guderian, then you're looking for the wrong man. He saluted, turned, left, never saw Hitler again. April 1945, Guderian in Bavaria, in a small house, listening to news on the radio. April 16th, Soviets attack Berlin. April 25th, Berlin encircled. April 30th, Hitler committed suicide. May 2nd, Berlin fell. May 8th, Germany surrendered. Guderian wrote in his diary, "It's over, just as I said. If Hitler had listened, perhaps millions wouldn't have died. But he didn't listen. And now Germany is rubble." May 1945, Guderian surrendered to the Americans, sent to prisoner camp. From 1945 to 1948, he was interrogated. American intelligence wanted to learn Wehrmacht tactics. Guderian cooperated. Interrogation officer: "General, why didn't Hitler listen to you?" Guderian: "Because his ego exceeded reality. He believed he was a military genius. He saw generals as merely tools to execute his orders." Interrogation officer: "Why did you obey? You could have rebelled." Guderian: "A German officer doesn't rebel. I took an oath for the homeland, but at the same time I told the truth. Always. They tried to silence me, but I spoke." 1948, Guderian was released. He had health problems. Heart. 1950, Guderian began writing his memoirs. Book: Panzer leader. In the book, he criticized Hitler openly. Hitler didn't understand military strategy, but he interfered in everything. Wouldn't listen to generals. Result: disaster. The book was published in 1952. In the West, it became a bestseller. Wehrmacht tactics, Panzer strategy, Hitler's mistakes. Everything was explained. But in Germany, mixed reactions. Some: Guderian is right. He showed Hitler's mistakes. Others: Guderian is shifting responsibility to Hitler, but he was complicit too. Guderian, in an interview: "I'm a soldier. I obeyed orders. But at the same time, I objected. I wrote, spoke, warned. Hitler didn't listen. That's not my fault." May 14th, 1954, Guderian died of a heart attack, 65 years old, buried in Schwangau, Bavaria. His funeral was quiet. Former Wehrmacht officers came, but no official ceremony, no state funeral. A friend spoke at the funeral. Heinz Guderian was the father of Panzer warfare, architect of lightning war. But in his final years, he was silenced because he told the truth, and Hitler didn't want to hear the truth. Reasons for Guderian's silencing. Reason 1. Realism: Guderian was a realistic soldier. If the situation was bad, he said so. Hitler wanted optimism. Conflict was inevitable. Reason 2. Against never retreat, doctrine: Guderian advocated tactical withdrawals. Hitler said, "Hold to the last man." Contradiction constant. Reason 3. Proposing peace negotiations in early 1945, Guderian openly said peace. For Hitler, this was treason. Reason 4. Challenging Hitler's ego, Guderian criticized Hitler's military decisions. Hitler perceived criticism as personal insult. Reason 5. Potential alternative leader Guderian was one of the respected generals. Hitler feared opposition could gather around him. Guderian's legacy is complex, positive, revolutionized Panzer tactics, developed lightning war, laid foundations of modern mechanized warfare, wasn't afraid to tell the truth, negative, served in the Nazi regime, remained silent on war crimes, didn't participate directly but was within the system, didn't support military coup against Hitler. Modern historians are divided. Some: Guderian was a professional soldier, did his duty. Others: he was high-ranking in the Nazi regime, therefore complicit. But everyone agrees Guderian was a military genius, and Hitler, by silencing him, hurt himself. March 28, 1945, Guderian left Hitler's office. For the last time, in the corridor to his aide: "It's over. That man doesn't want to hear the truth. He silenced me, but history will see the truth." 6 weeks later, Berlin fell. Hitler died. Guderian's warnings all proved correct, but too late. History lesson: leaders should not silence advisors who tell the truth, because truth is inevitable, and silenced voices are usually the ones who are right. Guderian was silenced, but his voice still echoes in his memoirs, in his tactics, and in the lessons of history. If this story affected you, please hit the like button. Every like helps us reach more people with these forgotten stories. If you're new, subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.